You know that feeling like you're on the verge of something amazing, but at the same time you feel like you're running? Running from what? You're not even sure. Well, we're going to explore that exact feeling today through this incredible story about promise, patience, and ultimately, purpose.
Have you ever just felt it in your bones that you're meant for something bigger, but then you look around and your life, your reality, it just doesn't line up? It's like everything is screaming no, and you wake up with that pit in your stomach, that anxious, I'm stuck feeling.
And right on cue, that's when the doubts start whispering. Did I make all this up? Maybe I misunderstood? Am I even good enough for this? Man, that doubt can be just suffocating, can't it? And that leads to the biggest fear of all, doesn't it? That maybe it's just never gonna happen. That this dream, this thing that feels so real in your heart, it's just gonna stay a dream forever. So yeah, you feel like you're running from the pressure, running from what feels like inevitable failure, running from the fact that what you see in the mirror just doesn't match the vision you have for your life.
Okay, but what if we've got it all wrong? What if this season of running, this chaos, what if it doesn't mean you're lost? What if it actually means you're being prepared? That this isn't a detour, this is the path. You know, there's a man in the Bible who knew this exact tension, probably better than anyone. A guy who was literally chosen for greatness, had this huge promise over his life, and then spent the next chunk of it, well, running.
His name was David, and I think his story, well, it might just change everything about how you see your own journey. So let's set the scene. David was, well, he was a nobody. The youngest son, the one his own dad forgot to invite to the party when the prophet showed up. Seriously, while all his older, stronger brothers are lining up, looking the part, David's out in a field with the sheep. But see, that's the thing. People looked at him and saw a shepherd boy. God looked at him and saw a king. Why? Because he was looking at his heart. Can you just picture that? The prophet Samuel comes, pours oil on his head, and boom, a promise is spoken. You're gonna be king. Your future is set guaranteed by God. You'd think that's where the credits roll, right? Happily ever after. But that's not how it works. Being chosen doesn't mean the path gets easier. Sometimes it gets a whole lot harder. And right away, this massive canyon opens up between the promise and his reality. On one side, you've got anointed king, giant slayer, man after God's own heart. And on the other side, fugitive, public enemy number one, hiding in a damp, dark cave, hunted by the most powerful man in the country. I mean, can you even imagine his mindset? The questions he must have been yelling into the darkness of that cave. God, you anointed me. You promised. So why am I here? Why am I hiding like a criminal? And let's be honest, haven't we all screamed some version of that question in our own lives? And this is where we get to the heart of it. That season of running, of hiding, it wasn't a mistake. It wasn't a detour. It was the preparation. The waiting and the struggling, that was actually part of the promise, not a punishment keeping him from it. See, a palace could never have taught him what the cave did. In that cave, he learned what real trust in God looks like, because what else did he have? He learned how to read, not an army, but a bunch of misfits and outcasts. And maybe the biggest thing, he learned restraint. He learned that sometimes the most powerful move is to not move at all. And that's the key right there. He had his chance. Twice he could have killed King Saul and just taken the throne, ended all the running. But he didn't. He knew something profound. If you try to force what God promised, you might get the prize, but you'll lose the character you need to actually carry it. And maybe that hits home for you. You've got this promise, but you don't have the platform yet. You've got this huge vision, but you're just not seeing the results. And that gap between the two, it can be so painful. So please, hear this. You're not running in circles. You are running in preparation. Every single frustrating delay, every moment you feel hidden and unseen, it's all part of it. It's building the strength in you for what is coming. God didn't forget about David in that cave. No way. He was being formed there. That pressure wasn't meant to crush him, it was meant to shape him, like a blacksmith shaping steel, into the king he was always meant to be. And then, after all those years of running, of waiting, the season finally turned. The process was complete, the promise was fulfilled, and David took the throne. Not a second too soon, not a second too late. He was ready, truly ready for the weight of it all. So if that's you today, if you're in that season of running, I want you to grab hold of this. You are not forgotten. You are not behind.
and you are definitely not disqualified.
Because that gap, the space between the promise and the fulfillment, it's not just dead time. It's not a waiting room. It's the workshop. It's where the real work, the most important work, gets done in you.